Hi, and welcome to Stamp with Ginny. Today I'm going to share with you this cute little treat box that holds a couple of snack cakes from Little Debbie. It's quick and easy to make with the Heartfelt Stamp set, and I'm sure anybody would be happy to receive one of these. So let me set these aside and we'll get started. We're going to start with the scoring on my Flirty Flamingo piece of cardstock, and I'm going to start by scoring at the 1-inch mark and the 3 1/4 inch mark, and then I'm going to turn it and I am going to score at the 4 1/2 inch mark and the 5 1/2 inch mark, and I can move my scoreboard to the side. Next I'm going to bring in my paper snips, and I am going to snip on the two long sides. I'm going to snip until they intersect the two score lines, and then I'm going to take out a little wedge of cardstock so my box will fold together nicer. And I'm going to turn it around and do the other side up to where the score lines intersect, and then pulling out that wedge. Okay, and now I'm ready to start adding my tear and tape. So I am going to add my tear and tape to this one long edge here on the right, and then the other long edge. And I'm going to also add a little tear and tape here to these small pieces. That's simply to hold it in place. And then I'm going to flip it over, and I am going to add a piece of tear and tape along the two long edges on the left side here, on the inside. Okay, now that I've got that done, I want to turn my box back over. This side with the tear and tape on the back side is going to be my top, or my outside, so I want to flip that over and start decorating. So I'm going to bring this beautiful piece of foil designer series paper in, add a little adhesive to the back. I'm going to put this about 1.5 inches down on my box. So I'm using my grid paper to line that up. There we go. And now I'm ready to add my heart. Now the beautiful thing about this designer series paper is it coordinates with our punches. So I'm going to bring in the heart here. This is the shape that does not have the scallops on it. I'm using the Post-it note to hold my paper in place, and I'm going to punch out that gorgeous foil heart. And then I'm going to bring in a piece of my real red cardstock and the scallop heart, and I'm going to punch one of those out. And I'm ready to assemble those two by layering the designer series paper heart onto the scallop. And I'm doing that to give this a little extra support so that I can pop it up and give my project a little bit of height. There we go. I've added some dimensionals to the back, and I'm removing the protective covers. And I am going to adhere this down right over that foil designer series paper. And isn't that beautiful, the way it pulls out that shine? I'm going to bring in my real red ink pad, and I am going to stamp my sentiment below the heart. I'm doing this as a friendship gift, so I've chosen that. So lucky to have you as a friend sentiment. I'm going to put the ink away so it's out of my way, and I'm going to start using my bone folder on all of the score lines. Now, part of the reason why I waited to decorate this is because I wanted to be able to score that designer series paper at the same time I did my box, and that allowed me to do that. But if you prefer to kind of get the feel for the box and which way it's going to go first before you decorate, that's perfectly fine also. Okay, so I've got my box here and I'm ready to start assembling. So as I mentioned, I used these little tabs to help hold that in place. So the first thing I'm going to do is take off the outer strip and the piece of tear and tape on the inside here. And this is the back of my box. So I am going to fold those up and adhere that little tab, And as you can see, cutting that wedge out will give you a nicer fold. Be careful when you do this so that you don't stick your tear and tape. And then I'm going to take off this long piece of tear and tape on the front of the box and fold them up, and see how the first piece of tear and tape on that side and the second piece will hold the box together for you. So I'm going to adhere, lining up the bottom of my box, and press down, and then adhere the second side by lining up the bottom of the box and pressing down. And at this point I can take my bone folder and I can kind of burnish those pieces. I am going to tuck my little treat in. I happen to find these little Valentine cakes from Little Debbie, and I thought they were perfect for a project like this. So I am simply going to slip in that little treat, and there we go, a cute little Valentine's gift for your friend. If you'd like any of these products, feel free to stop by my online store. You can get there from my blog, Stamp with Jini. Thanks for joining me.